It's Kyrie. Yes, if you don't know me, get to know me. What's up, YouTube? What's up, Kyber Crew? And what's up, the rock audience out there in the UK? We are here with the band Eschalon. Eschalon actually had the opportunity to allow me to interview them, which is a, a miracle in itself, people. I'm so surprised and so happy to have the opportunity and obviously them to have this discussion with me and have this interview. But most importantly, I really want to show it to you guys, get you to know who Echelon is. We've got the guitarist Simon, we've got the drummer Miles. So yeah, introducing them and getting to know who they are and the band. And this is the next stepping stone to the channel, people. So if you'd like to introduce yourself, Simon and Miles, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm Simon. I play guitar in Echelon.
Miles on the drummer.
Perfect. Guys, we're gonna go into like a bit of in discussions, obviously about their history, what they do, in general, who Echelon are, and just see what they're about. So, guys, obviously, as you mentioned, you didn't perform at Bloodstock, but I did interview Exist Immortal, who did perform at Bloodstock. So I just want to know, like, your actual this experience, like, what was that like when you were there?
Yeah, I've been to Bloodstock quite a few times, and it was nice to sort of go back there and see more of our sort of mates sort of playing. I think Bloodstock's really diversifying a lot more lately, and there's a lot more sort of smaller bands and sort of more modern sort of metal bands as well. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of becoming way more diverse. But I feel Exist Immortal should have played there a few times already because they're perfect material for Bloodstock. But they finally did it. They got a big old stage and like, had a real big crowd, and I was just really great to see our boys do that. Do you know what I mean? Shout out to our friends Acadian as well. Like they're like the sort of Gojira of Cambridge, and like yeah, it was good to see them guys pack out a massive crowd in the New Blood stage as well. Do you know what I mean? That's really cool.
Amazing, guys. As you are aware, as Simon just mentioned, they actually connect with Exist More. They have like a bit of history with them, a little relationship with them, and I've just interviewed them. So I find it so cool how like UK bands connect with each other and know each other like that. So it's amazing that you've, I guess, had that history of knowing them. As you said, you known them since like 2011, if I'm correct. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I used to run like a blog back in the day for the scene, and like Max was one of my Merrick the vocalist was one of the admins, and we sort of met each other through that page, and like we used to go see each other's bands play back like 10, 13 years ago, something like that. And like I then went on to start a festival called Tech Fest, and ended up booking Exist Immortal probably more than any other band. Just I always thought they were like exactly the sort of music I wanted to push, and like they're one of the first sort of bands of this genre sort of out there touring, around the 2010-11 era. Like not many bands were actually live bands at that point, and like they were killing it then, and like they look back on it as cringy as fuck, but like I thought they were sick then. I always loved them. Do you know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
the new they're doing now is just like more than thousand times better than it was. Do you know what I mean? They've just excelled themselves like every time. Like
Not a lot of projects can stand that test of time for that long.
yeah,
And
yeah,
they're just getting increasingly better and better and better.
yeah.
Usually you see a peak at some point, but every time they just release new songs, it gets more and more impressed.
Outstanding. I'm glad that you actually see that, and obviously they're just getting better and better and who they are, and they're learning a lot more. So it's so cool that other people can see it. Because I like their music. I really like their music. I'm very like into the whole melodic stuff.
They're like our bigger brothers. Do you know what I mean? Like they're like an inspiration to us, like a live show, and like just the way they write music. Do you know what I mean? And just how they deliver it. And then obviously Merrick the vocalist, he's our producer as well. So he's literally like another member of our band as it is. Do you know what I mean? And like whenever we're playing shows together, Max and Brad, our vocalists, are jumping up with them. They just did Higher Ground live for the first time in
Wow.
Brighton at like Fest. And then
Merrick comes up
yeah,
with one of our songs.
Merrick jumps up with one of our songs in that as well. Yeah.
No way. That's so cool. To me, that's so cool. Because a lot of bands could be a bit like against each other. People obviously want to like have better success for themselves and their career and their like group. So like you can obviously have bad blood. So it's nice that you guys have that relationship and it's just like consistent and like respectful.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's what it's all about.
I think again, with the Tech Fest community we built as well, like, I've just instilled that in the scene to like just, everyone just pick each other up and help each other because it's just fuck all point being horrible. Do you know what I mean? It's really
Exactly.
hard. It's, you have to go out your way to be horrible to people. I don't get it. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, I totally agree with you. What I want to talk about then, I guess this is an answer for question, apologies, for both of you, is Echelon's origin. So obviously it came, if I'm correct, you guys were founded roughly in like Cambridge. from both of you. It was yourself, Simon, and Miles, that obviously built the band and obviously made it what it is. It's just kind of like knowing where the origin itself came from. Like, how did you guys form it? Just for the audience out there to know a bit more about you. Like, who are you? And as in, yeah, where it all came from.
Well, I think me and Miles met through a mutual friend
Mm.
at Tech Fest, and then me and him started jamming together in like 2013, wasn't it?
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was just before the second Tech Fest in Peterborough. I'd already booked a ticket, weirdly, because it was a step, and then I got invited to go and play drums for a tech metal band, and obviously very into that kind of genre. Never played in a band or had an opportunity to play in a band like that before. And then put two and two together who he was.
Well,
And
yeah,
then yeah, it just worked out. We've just been best friends ever since.
yeah. I think like because me and Miles started just in a garage riffing together, a decade ago, with kind of the sound of Echelon is what we sound like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think that's just like the stuff that comes out when we play. And like, Miles is a chaotic as fuck drummer. Like he's all over the place. And like the other guitarist, when we got him in, he was like, "Oh, I'm not used to this. Like I just used to a drummer keeping the beat." And I'm like, "Yeah, he's throwing shit all over the
yeah,
place, and it's not
yeah.
all." But like I've internalized his feels in my head. So even when he goes off, I'm like, well, I know what he's probably going to do because that's just what Miles does and stuff. And I can kind of predict his flow. Do you know what I mean? So it's like
Nice.
together really well when it comes to
Yeah, just
you know
keep counting 1, 2, 3, 4, man.
yeah the sort of thing, the chaos of playing live. Do you know what I mean? And like we always manage to stay really well locked in together. Do you know what I mean? Even when it swings a little bit.
Nice, nice. Do you know what? That's really good? Like, as in being, I guess, so connected with each other. When one of you does something else, the other person knows instantly like what to react to. I feel like that's how a band should be. It builds, it shows a real connection between you guys.
Yeah, he used to play in a ska band, and it was like the most metal ska band you've ever heard because of him. Like they weren't metal at all, but he was
Oh.
just double kicks and mad trying to.
Fair.
It was a ska punk band made up of people into punk and tech metal heads,
Oh,
as well
okay.
as who was very much into his hip hop and um, spoken word. And then we had a trumpet and a horn player as well, who are now married. We played our last gig at their
Oh,
wedding.
nice.
That was
Oh,
years ago. So that was a nice like, end to that chapter. But yeah, it was just like double kicks. I even managed to get blast beats in there at some point. It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
great.
yeah.
Now
Yeah.
he's bringing like offbeat chinas and stuff into our stuff,
Mm.
and that takes a little while to get used to with the grooves that we're trying to do anyway. And he's already displacing it before we've even locked in. It's just like he's a relentlessly groovy drummer. Do you know what I mean? Like,
No, that's outstanding. That's so cool. Like the creativity. It's nice that you have that sort of skills, Miles. A lot of people are quite basic, but I feel like people that obviously think outside the box and like that are more talented than meets the eye
It's
kind of aspect.
Yeah, but I would never kind of hold having a more simple beat against any other drummer either because you need to play what works for the track as well. Man, everyone's at a different level in life. I mean,
yeah,
I'm not anywhere near as good as like Mike Mallion or Matt Gasker or anything like
yeah.
that. Um,
I'd say that's probably our biggest mutual influence is probably
Mm,
Mike Marian. Like just
yeah,
Monuments is the one we probably share the most
mm.
vibes, but we all have our own influences. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Talk about
Monuments are
influences. We could jump into that. Obviously, I was going to ask a little bit later, but I don't mind asking. Like, who inspires you? Like, who inspires Echelon to be the band that they are today?
I think on like the melodic side of things, the stuff that like I usually come up with the riffs and then we sort of bounce it together, and Miles will kind of come in with we'll develop the grooves and stuff behind that. Do you know what I mean? We've started writing a lot more together lately as well, which is cool. But yeah, I say like for me, like obviously Monuments, sort of the North Lanes. Back in the day, me and Miles used to like jam a lot of like Hollow Crown era Architects at practice, and like that sort of stuff. But then I'd say like that's kind of the glue in the middle is the Monuments, the Architects, and the North Lane, and I'm trying to bring in the sort of Josh Travis, Tony Danza stuff,
Mm.
and then there's a band called Adrian Fresco, which I fucking love, which kind of I think they're kind of the band that inspired Sleep Token sound a little bit. Like I think they
Oh,
kind of did.
okay. I love Sleep Token. I literally don't like my heart.
If you
Incredible.
like Sleep, you'll love Agent Fresco, basically.
Yeah, the OGs, it's the Icelandic
Yeah,
rock wonders.
it's like
Ah.
compared to Sleep Token, like the Shroud song and that, and it's like, well, I actually just ripped off Adrian Fresco. Do you know what I mean? It's pretty
No
cool.
way.
But,
Yeah.
I wasn't
I mean,
aware of that. I love the whole like I got introduced to them with Take Me Back to Eden. Like a
yeah.
member of my community was like, "Oh, check this out." I checked it out, started listening to a little bit of the album, and I find them jaw dropping, like the sort of sound they do and how they
I
speak. Yeah,
to them in 2018 for Tech Fest, and were you doing drum techs for them?
Yeah, I was.
There
Yeah,
you go. We sort of that was Tech Fest 2018. You know, before they really blew. Do you know what I mean? They were a secret act and just kind of turned up as a a secret band.
yeah.
oh
So
my
actually
god.
knowing who half of them were as well.
Yeah.
Where they are now is just like, oh, damn.
Like, yeah, one of them I've
Wow.
known for. He's a lovely guy. Do you know what I mean? I'll never bait him up, but
No, no.
Yeah.
yeah,
No, if you say that again, but the connection kind of dropped there. One of them you knew. Sorry.
yeah. It's just amazing to see his journey. Like I've known him a long time, and like we've worked together in different things around the scene and stuff, and like was involved in my festival and stuff, like a big part of it over the years. And now he's off just doing.
Well,
Yeah, it's amazing.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's amazing.
yeah, it's lit.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's amazing. Now I'm starstruck. Like to me, that's starstruck, and that's amazing. So obviously you have that connection. Hopefully, if it still happens at this moment, you're still communicating with them, and obviously possibly still like working with them. I don't know, but it'd be amazing if that is a thing.
Into them at gigs half the time.
I bumped into him at a gig, and like we were surrounded by thousands of people, and no one knew who he was.
Yeah.
And we were just chatting. Only the people from back in the day that used to go to the same gigs and that they would come over, and a couple of old mates would be like, "Oh, hello, mate," but no one would say anything. It's like it's really cool to see that they can still be them in real life. Do you know what I mean? And like,
Yeah, I heard that they do keep themselves secret. Like they do like to keep like their personal names and like their lives separate. So, and to be honest, being big as as they are, and obviously being a big band in general, it'd probably be a headache for people just constantly being at you. So yeah,
yeah,
it's nice to probably have that separate.
yeah. I must get swamped at shows. Do you know what I mean? Just get rushed.
And to expand on, so obviously you said obviously who inspires you and obviously what you go into. What is that design like for the projects you make? So what I'm asking is the actual sound of Echelon, like the genre you guys are and what you are inspired by. Like how does that make the music you make today? Because there was a period where you were doing a lot of stuff during lockdown, where like 2020 to 2021. So like how did that? So the projects you were making, how are they going? Can't even get the words out of my mouth. How are you designing them? And obviously the influence that you've obviously been influenced by, how has that helped create those projects?
Well, there was one band that we didn't mention that actually started during lockdown, which was Darko in the Darko
Yeah,
US,
yeah.
and they released their first song, and it was called Divine Void, and it just had the most disgusting, like really kind of yeah, I can't even describe it. Just disgusting, like guitar tone, and ferocious drums just going all over the place with
I,
really brutal
I,
vocals.
I'd say like so I'm really inspired by like the Josh Travis and the sort of Tony Danza stuff. And like a band like Frontiera as well, they're like really chaotic and dissonant, but like I've always found that stuff like lacking in groove and like structure. Like they do their thing amazingly well, and I absolutely love it. It's like it just blows my mind because it's just like my sugar level stuff. But like I've always wanted to kind of bring that to like a sort of a simpler market. Do you know what I mean? And just kind of incorporate them sort of metalcore grooves and sort of like I love my ballads, I love my sort of beats, and like we kind of bring all that into it to try and glue it all together. Do you know what I mean? And we kind of there's a really old school band actually called AO List, which inspired me with their EP, which was just a consistent start to finish piece of music, and they'd perform it as like a half-hour set live. And that's kind of how we've written the EP, is just to be like a start to finish EP, but it's like in that order sort of thing, and it all connects and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Nice.
It's like a nice thing. We have like a light show, and it's all like a visual display as it goes through each song, and like it's all cued and stuff. So I think that those are sort of inspirations, like how we've sort of brought it all together. It's just trying to bring this chaotic dissonance that Josh Travis does, and just trying to dumb it down a bit so it's kind of a bit more chory and fun, sort of a bit more together, I think.
Yeah. So I guess another question is for like obviously towards both of you is when you were doing that, how did you find it? How did you find making music during lockdown? Like the experience
That
itself. How did you find it?
that was a favour for us because we were just like, let's just lock down together, weren't it?
Yeah,
Nice.
Like 50 days here, maybe 100 days here over that year. I think it was like we did a lot of just writing. Do you know what I mean? We kind of got all our old bodies of work together,
yeah.
wrote them, and then scrapped them, and then started a new one. And that's kind of what we've run with. But
Yeah, so the some of the songs we play now, they kind of started off as a distraction session file from our other body of work that we've just been looking at for 18 hours a day. Just getting bored of listening to over and over. And then and then it kind of turned out that we accidentally wrote something that we thought was unplayable, and now we play it live.
Oh, wow.
So it's just it was a bit of a learning curve. We changed the kind of guitar types as well because you were using like seven string or like an 8 string beforehand, and now
yeah,
we're using the kind of the Sub-Zero baritones. It just was a much lower tuning here, but it adds a different kind of. I don't even know how to describe it. It feels like a semi different genre to what we were
Mm.
doing before.
yeah, almost, almost. I feel these sort of new core bands are like I really like the soundscape of that. And I just kind of
1056 as well.
yeah, like a band like 1056 sort of thing. But like I suppose that's kind of like a more coherent sort of style of the Tony Danza stuff, where it's a bit more 4/4, a bit more structured, a bit more impact sort of thing. And like I suppose we're trying to do maybe kind of the 1056 thing, but with a little monumency groove to it. Do you know what I mean? That's like I'd say there's some real big influences in what we're sort of trying to do at
Yeah,
the minute.
some more memorable like parts like choruses and stuff.
Yeah, big choruses. That I think that comes from working with Merrick. Do you know what I mean? Merrick's
Mm.
like really sort of honed in our chorus writing, and just kind of he helps with like sort of vocal production. He's like really good.
Mm.
You can just hear where it needs to go and stuff, and like he can help you refine some really cool ideas. Do you know what I mean?
So with what you've just explained there, what would you say your genre is then? Like, what would you classify yourself, whether you're like a rock
It's
band, a metalcore band, deathcore? Like, what would you say Echelon is?
I think a metalcore band's probably the closest. Do you know what I mean? Like,
It covers the spectrum of what we do.
but yeah, if we played a deathcore show, we wouldn't be out of place. Like, we'd be just as heavy, sort of thing. I'd say it's like really at the minute, it's like really relentless metalcore in a way. Like, it's quite chaotic and dark.
Nice, nice. That's great to know that like you solidified what type of genre you are. Some people like to mix things up and they be like, oh, but I'm a bit of this and a bit of that. So it's great that you guys are specifying this is what we can do. But do you know what? If we were somewhere else, we wouldn't feel out of place.
James from Tesseract does our press and that, and he just said, technical metalcore. So it's like that's what we've run with. Do you know what I mean? He listened to us and we've just gone with that. So
He would know.
yeah, exactly. No, so
Fair. So I want to go into the song Shallow because I reacted to the song Shallow a little while back. But I just wanted to know the full like well because it was quite personal to one of you. I can't remember trying to remember who it was exactly about. I don't know if it was about you, Simon.
yeah, Brad, the long haired vocalist, sort of one who does all the clean singing. Yeah,
Because it was quite a personal song. So I wanted to talk about that because obviously as I said I reacted to it. Just kind of like just explain a little bit if you knew what because obviously the main person's not here, but like explaining how it meant
so
to you guys making that song and like the actual narrative of what shallow means.
yeah, me and Miles had written a load of the riffs and sort of music, and it was becoming this dark, moody song. And Brad sort of ran with it and sort of wanted to put his own trauma history into it. Do you know what I mean? He usually like we had Brad before we had Max, the other vocalist, and so Brad had already got a bit of a head start on writing some of the songs. So there's some songs that are kind of like the concepts come from him, and then between the two of them they've like leveled up, and like Max has brought loads of bars in, and we've changed so much stuff since he's been a part of it. But like Brad's sort of concept was like I think it was like a close friend was like become a bully over many years. He was a kid that was a couple of years older than him, and basically the torment sort of kept building and building and getting worse. And I think it ended with basically him forcing Brad to sort of dig a hole and then buried him alive as a child.
Oh wow!
And
Like literally,
like,
yeah.
yeah. Like Brad had to be like rescued and shit, and like he's it affected him quite a lot. Do you know what I mean? And like
Wow.
So yeah, like I suppose that's where we sort of like, well, we've got these sort of like songs about being trapped and like tormenting yourself, and like, we try to instill this thing of like, don't become sort of like the abuser. Do you know what I mean? Don't like internalize this trauma and become like, this the Anakin story of, Darth Vader sort of consuming yourself sort of thing. So we had this sort of like a whole cave thing and like ritual thing, to sort of emulate being buried and being trapped, and just kind of make it a bit more ethereal than just like getting a spade and burying Brad in the forest.
Yeah.
Didn't want to completely take him back to that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was to like have Brad as like the creative sort of director. Like a lot of the videos, sort of like the concept stuff, me and Brad will come up with the arty stuff, and we'll sort of run things by. He's sort of been doing a bit of acting and stuff in the videos and that, and like yeah, like we wanted him to be like the one in the power this time. So this is like your artistic release of that experience. Now everything's like under your control, and it's in a complete light where you're the one doing it, and you're doing it for a cathartic reason. You're trying to sort of like reach other people that may have been affected by similar things. Do you know what I mean? So it's like trying to turn it into like an artistic sort of positive. Do you know what I mean?
But it was actually Max that did the first draft of the lyrics.
Yeah.
From hearing that story.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Max come up with a load of the bars of that, and then I think that possibly connected that sort of trauma with. I think Brad resonated with Max's lines. Do you see what I mean? And I think they sort of concept of like, well, I've actually been through this, and we can kind of make something personal. Do you know what I mean? We try and we always have a little blurb about like what the actual song means to us, and like how
Of
it's
course.
but like pretty much all songs with sort of the body of work we're sort of releasing at the minute, it's all very mental health based and stuff, and like we've all had stuff to deal with. We've all dealt with a lot of grief and trauma, and all this sort of stuff. Really trying to like be positive and look out for each other and try and make the world a better place still. Do you know what I mean? Rather than just being cunts about it.
Exactly.
I suppose it's this self-consuming thing of just beating yourself up with it. Do you know what I mean? That we're trying to sort of express. Do you know what I mean?
So with that aspect of Shallow, as you mentioned, a lot of your music is like you're inspiring more of mental health and like focusing on like positive and giving like good energy. I guess the music you've created since Shallow, have they been like showing those aspects, showing those traits? Is that what your aim is as a band now, to make sure the music you portray have like a connection with yourself, that you want to build rapport with your audience?
It's always going to be personal, man.
Yeah.
It's always going to be personal.
We have a tagline, "Welcome to Echelon," and like that's kind of our thing, and like that's sort of our like voiceover as we come on stage and stuff, and like Echelon as a concept, as a place, but like everyone's welcome.
Outstanding. I really like that, because we need that nowadays. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's like probably 2 or 3 wars going on. A lot of the riots in the UK at the moment. So
There's my favourite saying is, the only time you see 100,000 people in a field together is either a music festival or a site of conflict. So pick your side. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
literally.
Like if you're playing a guitar, you're on the same team basically. To the vast majority of people, do you know what I mean? Just everyone just look out for each other, like.
That's so true. It's so true. And I feel like music is like something that's unspoken. It really like, it doesn't matter what you are, ethnicity, sex, character. It literally is like the type of thing everyone kind of connects with. And it's wild to see like how music does that and connects so many people together with like all backgrounds. I find it such a cool thing.
It's as powerful as weaponry, and like I see it as a huge responsibility to curate like music and communities. It can change lives and people. Do you know what I mean?
Totally agree. Now with yourselves, now I want to go a bit into like touring and like collaborations and stuff like that with you guys. So I just want to know what your experience is like going like touring around the UK. So you've been around places like Cambridge, Stamford, Sludgefest, Norwich, London, Wakefield. Like what's it been like touring around the UK?
Been great, man.
It's been fun. It's been fun. Yeah.
We've had a lot of fun.
Haven't done it for so many years.
Yeah.
And to come back to it with a real passion project, so starting from the ground up, is a totally different experience.
Yeah. I hadn't been on stage in like 12 years or something like that, like since 2012.
Wow.
And like, first show was like sold out show with Vexed in our hometown. and like it just went off. Do you know what I mean? And like, you know, we've had a few ropey starts. Do you know what I mean? You know, it's like you can do it in a production studio as much as you want and have all the sound guys and work it all out as many times as you want. You try it in a different venue, it's like something's going to change. And like, you know, we've learned with that really quickly. I think we've like done everything we can to like get on top of stuff and like get our show together really quick. So like we hit the ground running basically. Every show, you know, we went well. Do you know what I mean? Like I think every show we've played has been packed, which has been sick. Do you know? You know, we've just done our 11th show.
Yes, yeah.
Yesterday we played Mangart Festival, their first ever like session show with like Stephen Akira and a whole load of mates. You know,
Glass Grave, Cave Killer.
Yeah, these are all bands that we've like known, booked, and like been to see for years, and like, you know, it's just nice to be. You know, I've known them from a promoter's perspective, and now I'm sort of like we're co-artists and stuff. We're all doing shows together and looking out for each other on that level. So it's nice just to be back out with the same people I, you know, been working with.
I think another benefit with us learning really quickly about what not to do has helped us, but also because we've both been involved with obviously being the organizer of UK Tech Fest, and I worked as a drum tech on the main stage for many years. You notice when people are organized and when people aren't organized. How what effect that has on the entire day. If someone's 5 minutes late, that can push everything back and piss people off. I mean, it all gets resolved at the end over a beer and enjoying the actual music, but you don't want to be that guy.
That's the thing, like, all these years I've been booking like 70 bands a year, and there's all these silly things that bands do, and now I'm fucking in one of those bands. Like,
no, I totally get that. Do you know what? That leads perfectly for what I was gonna say next is your cons. Like, what is the cons when you go to tour? Like, what's it like in those situations?
I don't think there really has been. I think mainly like
apart from technical issues.
Yeah, like either
setting off smoke alarms.
Like, you know, we like to use smoke machines and stuff, and like some venues just can't take it. It just sets the fire alarm off. Do you know what I mean? Like, we'll carry on playing, like it's fine. Like, you know, some of our songs people don't actually notice the fire alarm. They think it's part of the track.
No way.
A friend of mine once said some of our songs sound like a cacophony of car alarms.
There you go.
Brilliant. You know, I'm also like happy the fact that you're going like there's not many cons and like there's such good experiences, such good times, such like great moments.
One fucking cable. That's the main con. It's just something's not been plugged in right and something just not supposed to. But like last night, everything worked. It was just this. There's a weird frequency in Nottingham, and everyone's in here just kept just clapping out. Do you know what I mean? It kept coming in, coming out. You know, we managed to pull it off, but like, yeah, it's hard. It's hard to stay tight when it's like in and out. Do you know what I mean? I think I mean,
it's one of those things like that. That's something you can't control in it, and those things happen. But the best way to get through them, being professional, and it seems like you guys have got enough experience to smash that out. So that's amazing in itself.
We saw some of the reels this morning. It looks fine. So
yeah.
We're always gonna like dramatize in our own minds. Like if something's gone terribly wrong, like, I dropped a stick, and I'm just like, oh no. But it's barely noticeable. And we had fun. We saw some friends' bands, had a good time, mingled, made some new friends.
Nice.
Yeah, loads of friends today as well. There's really cool bands that we've not seen before. It's nice to sort of connect with all them, and I'm sure we'll do more of all of them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, Wolves Don't Sleep were really sick.
Yeah, really sweet guys.
They're really nice.
Guys,
Nice. That leads into the perfect lead for what I was going to say next is the collaboration. And like who you would like to work with, whether there's up and coming bands that you currently deal with. For an example, you mentioned like Exist Immortal, and obviously you mentioned like you know Sleep Token from like a few years back. So is there any like bands and groups and people?
No. I don't even that email address.
I think obvious one is Merrick. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you know, it should have happened already, but we're saving Mez for the right tune. You know, he's got a beautiful voice. He needs a melodic banger, so we'll save him for a nicer one. Do you know what I mean?
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, fair. That's great. So then, what we'll do, we'll finish up with just like any up and coming stuff of like you guys got coming out. Any new stuff, any things that people look forward to. Tell the audience, tell the people out there, is there any like new stuff obviously depends on when this comes out. But is there any new stuff that's coming out for you guys?
Give Kyrie the exclusive. We're dropping another tune very shortly. It'll be in the next couple of weeks. Probably by the time this goes out, it'll be announced and we'll be pushing it, sort of thing. So within the next month from now, there'll be a new tune out. But yeah, we've mainly just got loads of new live shows really. We're playing with Milk and Two Sugars next Friday. A couple of days. They're like the UK, in fact, the world's only Meshuggah tribute band. Do you know what I mean?
And they so good.
Yeah, they absolutely smash it.
Yeah.
You know, Milk and Two Sugars, but I mean, go check out Pravitas, which is the actual band behind that. I'd like to see Meshuggah cover Pravitas because that's ridiculous as well. Yeah. Yeah, them after the abduction and Awasa. After that, we're playing Hometown Festival, which is kind of on the Metalcore day with like Chuggaboom, Raised by Owls, Continents, Raiders, Beyond Your Design, Lost to Light. There's a load of mates on there.
Rituals as well.
Yeah, Rituals Within Reach. There's some really cool bands on that lineup. But at the Hairy Dog, which is a venue, it means a lot to me as well. So it's going to be nice for me to play there finally after putting on a load of shows there. Do you know what I mean? And knowing all the bands in that area, it's been nice to sort of be on a stage with them all. Do you know what I mean?
Amazing.
Yeah, we've got
the Rabid Fest.
Yeah, Rabid Fest in Oxford. That's going to be sick.
2nd of October, 2nd of November.
2nd of November
Nice.
for that one.
With Existentialists.
Yeah, Existentialist,
Viscera.
Evil,
Void Walker.
Yeah,
Void Walker. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we've got a little run with Swarm 6 at the end of the year as well.
Nice.
Yeah, I think we've only got one other show to be announced, which will be probably announced by the time this comes out. But but we're going to have to sign off the year here, really. But yeah, it's been a great year. You know, by the end of the year, we'd have done 18 shows.
Wow.
And so far, all of them have gone pretty well. Do you know what I mean? We've had really good crowds and really good reception and stuff. And like, you know, all the promoters have asked us back, sort of thing. And it's like, you know, it's nice to have had a successful year. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It sounds amazing. You got a lot of stuff coming up. It's actually incredible that you got so much coming up and like keeping yourself busy. That's the whole point, isn't it? Like you want to make sure you're going up and up and up and up in your career, and obviously have those doors open a lot more for your career to be a lot more successful. So that's incredible that you got a lot of shows. I find it quite outstanding.
Next time we do a show with Exist Immortal, we'll have to bring you down.
Yeah.
Bring do your thing.
Yeah, I'd love to. What I really want to do is get like a camera to buy that I can like film on the go, kind of like a GoPro, or I might just use my phone. But yeah, I definitely want to see that.
That'd be sick, man. You're always welcome at a show. Just hit us up.
Amazing. Now, guys, it's been a pleasure. It's been outstanding, guys. This is Simon and this is Miles here from Eschalon, letting us know a bit more about them, about their career, up and coming stuff. If there's anything that happens, because I'm tripping up now. This interview comes out in September. It's most likely going to come out mid-September or most likely around the end of September, but it's definitely going to come out in September. If there's obviously the shows that you've mentioned, guys, definitely send them to me if there's anything happening after September. As you mentioned, you got one in like November and obviously later down the line by the end of this year. I'll drop everything in a description. I'll put all the links of your socials as well.
Well,
Norwich with Varslug,
Norwich with Varslug. Yeah. November's quite busy.
Yeah. Everything can be found on echelon.co.uk. All our tour dates, all our videos are just there. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
if you could send everything to me, it'd be perfect. I'll drop it all in the description. But it's been a pleasure. It's been outstanding, guys. I've actually been interviewing Eschalon, and hopefully their career just goes further and further. And I'm so glad that you've given me the opportunity, both of you. It means the world to me because obviously it's just a next stepping stone to the channel. So yeah.
Thanks to us, man.
Yeah, same to you, man. I wish you all the best, and like let's catch up down the line and see where each other are at. Do you know what I mean? We'll do it again.
100%, 100%. We're gonna organize another interview definitely in 2025. See where we are. Facts. I wanna do it in person. That's my next step. To actually like.
Yeah, man. That would be sick. Where are you based again? You did tell me before.
I'm from Bristol.
Oh, cool, man.
Yeah,
we'll hopefully go there at some point. There's a Biblos on Stokes Croft I fucking love.
I think, what is it? One of the Exist Immortal members said the same thing.
I took him there. They know that because of me, but like, I've delivered a Biblos rap to Gatwick for America before when I was going to his house from Bristol. I've Ubered a Biblos rap, so shout out Biblos in the endorsement.
No way. I'm 99% sure they said that because it definitely rings a bell.
Yeah, they're the boys. But yeah,
but no.
We'll have to go. we'll go for a chat there or something. That'd be sweet.
Definitely. No, it's been a pleasure. Guys, yeah, just thank you for the opportunity. Definitely go check out who they are. Definitely go follow them. I'll put everything in the link in the description, people. We are over and out. This is Kyrie interviewing Eschalon. And hopefully, as we said, we'll link up next time, and next time in person. But I'm over and out. Yeah, peace out, people.
Cheers.